Hey guys, it's Alex. I'm back for part 5 of my Factorio playthrough. Something I want to mention is that it was brought to my attention that the bottom of the screen and maybe a little bit of the top was being cropped in my previous videos. It was kind of like a black bar. Um, Factorio seems kind of finicky with recording, at least OBS recording software. Um, so that's why it wasn't letting me do some sort of other recordings. When I was trying, it was basically like it wouldn't register clicks or any sort of inputs while it was recording. But I did do some messing around with it and some testing, and I believe I've eliminated that issue. So hopefully there should be no more cut off or cropped edges, and you should be able to see the full screen, including the ever useful toolbars and production queue down in the bottom left. But looks like our research is just finished, just in time for us to get a second row on our toolbar, on our quick bar. So that will be useful, and yeah, that's good stuff. Now I can rearrange my bars a little bit and add some more things. So something you probably couldn't see before is you can, there's blue background on these items right here, and the rest is gray. Basically, you can middle click on these to do like I just added that there. And now, even if you like put all those down, it'll still do this, and nothing else from your inventory that you pick up will take that spot. So it's saving that spot. It makes it very easy to organize and use your quick bar things here. So, hooray. It's kind of what, and having a second row on your quick bar is really useful. That's why I went to research it as early as I did. So let's find a new research. We've got green and red potion science things being produced right now. So let's take a look at what we can make. So we're definitely going to want oil processing at some point, but we're also going to want trains because, well, crude oil is fairly scattered on the map usually, and so you don't want to have to make a refinery at every spot. So you generally want a centralized refinery, and to transport oil you need trains unless you're wanting to do it by hand. So that would be engine is important in that lets you get to railway. But you also need pump jacks, which leads to, well, it's oil processing, which is pump jacks, refinery, chemical plants, and all this fun stuff. Both very useful. We've got advanced material processing, which is going to get us steel furnaces, which they're still fuel-based, but they're more efficient, and they are no longer built with stone. Well, I mean, sort of. It's stone brick, but still. This is basically the second level in conveyor belt stuff. Red track, it goes faster in speed and such, so useful, but we're not going to worry about it now. Solar panels, useful. This is a new research in this patch, and it's landfill, which basically lets you, apparently it takes 20 stone and it makes and every 20 stone allows you to fill in 1 grid square of water with land. So that's a thing. I don't know how useful it is. It's probably useful, but I'm not sure it's something I want to focus on right away. This stuff's useful. This gives us 2 additional types of power poles that are not wood resource oriented. And then there's military 2, which is nice because one, it's not super expensive on the research material end of it, and it gives us essentially tier 2 ammunition, which seems like it would be useful. But that also requires steel plate, which we have researched, but we have not created any sort of production for it. So let's go look around here a little bit. Thinking like we're going to need to get steel production going real soon. It's going to be involved in pretty much everything we do. Oil processing all requires steel. These 2 power poles, they require steel. Steel furnace is steel. So That's something we should probably just go do right now. But before we get into oil processing and stuff, I want to... Let's research... Thinking furnaces? Steel furnaces. Yeah, let's do that. Alright, so steel production. That's a thing we need. So the first 4 episodes, oh wow, that's a lot of iron. I recorded all pretty much back to back in 2 to 2.5 hour span. And now it's like a day or 2 later, so reorienting myself a little bit with what our factory is and our setup. I did find out a few new hotkeys, which hopefully we will be able to use. So if you saw well, you probably noticed at some point, it's not the most useful right now, but when we started out and we had these furnaces and I had to hand fuel things, I was opening the inventory, clicking the coal, clicking the spot, and that. So I've discovered, like, you can control click a box or something to take all the inventory or all the material out of it that you can. If you choose, say, coal, and then you can control left click on these furnaces and it'll put all that it can into that object, which will make it way quicker, much fewer clicks. So that's super cool. We've got some iron ore that I don't have any use for, so we're just gonna stick that in there. Alright, so we need steel. This whole little factory setup was essentially made to automate red and green research. So that's done, and I don't really want to feed into this factory too much anymore. So let's... I don't want to venture out too far because it's... the biters are going to come attack us at some point. But at the same time, we don't have much track. Let's go grab some of that. Very good. Let's check our power. Power's... Ooh. So maybe we should be building a little more secondary power station as well. So okay. Well, for making steel, we will need... Let's take that. We did not have any ammo before. For making steel, we need iron ore to be made into iron plate, and then we're going to need coal to mix with the iron plate and put into furnace to make steel. So it'd be good to have some sort of coal next to iron for this. I don't want to base all my furnace and coal needs on this one patch because we will burn through it eventually. This coal patch is in the middle of a dense forest, so that would be a pain in the ass. This one is the same. This looks somewhat promising. Oh, you can see the red here on our map is our pollution, basically. I've got it in the settings. You can turn it off on the minimap because it just gets to a point that the whole map is just a red filter, and that's kind of stupid to look at. But we can see we've got some pollution going on. So, we've got a nice camp of enemies down here. So at some point we'll have to deal with that. Happily, we've got kind of a somewhat thin right here wall of trees between us and them, so that should absorb and kind of shield our pollution from spreading out that way too much. It's a pretty small little group over here, and there's something going on over here. So it looks like our radars are doing some work in expanding our known area of the world. So useful. So I'm thinking of right here for our steel production, which will make us a bit more our pollution a little closer to there, but it's also got really nice oil field right there, so we'll want to expand up there at some point. But I am liking kind of all these dense trees around us. You don't get that with every playthrough. So this is us here. I'm also thinking, where would I want a secondary power plant? And if we can clear this little biter camp out, we can make a second power plant here based off this coal field. Then we gotta defend all this crap. So let's get going. I'm just gonna make all of the wooden power poles, and we'll cut down a few more trees. Sitting on our resources. Get a little more raw wood for what we need. Oops. There we go. Okay, that's good enough. Something else they did in this patch, apparently, is increase the wood stack size to 100 instead of 50, which you would often find your inventory here getting just cluttered with wood. And I think I actually had a little bit of that happening with in my intro videos, but supposedly not so much anymore. We'll see. Engine seems good. I also quite like the idea of doing military 2 really quick, so when we get steel going, should just... Alright, before we go up there and set all that up, let's just pre-make a bunch of the things we're going to need up there while we're next to our resource centers. And can replenish them. Alright. So we will need a few... Oh, I don't know why I'm making pumps right now. There we go. This is already going to take a while crafting this stuff. But we will need some stone furnaces. There we go, that was quick. Alright, we're gonna go with electric poles next because I don't like using the wooden poles that much, actually. I much prefer... Oh, we've got an unpowered guy there. That's fun. Alright, we don't need you anymore. Yeah. Don't remember exactly what I was saying. Alright, we've got plenty of track right now. We should probably just get a little more anyways. There we go. So we're gonna have a bunch of drills. Gonna have conveyor belt track. We will have furnaces. We only need a few to get going, because then we'll switch to steel furnaces. And we will need a lot of inserters probably. We will use them at some point, so might as well start making them now. Alright, and a few iron chests, why not? Okay. Let's just keep using our crafting. Make some Steam engines. Make more of those. Collect more iron. A few more pumps. And a whole bunch of pipe. A few more splitters and a few underground pipes. Alright, so that honestly should set us up pretty well for making both our steel production and a second power plant. I'm gonna put these power poles kind of along the edge of the tree line here. In part because, and then we're gonna cut up across to here. Basically, in part because eventually I'm going to have train track and cars. Well, a car that I will drive around, and it'll be much faster than just running everywhere, but it's kind of a pain when there's a bunch of stuff that you can drive into and run into and damage both it and your car. So, excuse me, man, I keep just hiccuping. I kind of don't like having power poles kind of in the middle of the big open areas, if I can help it, for when I get to that point. Okay. Cut down these two trees too, just to clear it away a little bit. But we've got drills. So, oh, we've got a few trees right on this patch. Come to think of it, we do have a sentry turret. Happily, sentries don't require power. So we're gonna put some ammo in that, and that'll be good times. Alright. That, however, does require power, but well, whatever. There's slight overlap with the coal there, but there we go. All right. There we go, and now our radar is powered as well. We can pick those two up. Now let's set up our smelting. So, this we will set up with the intention of this being our eventual primary steel smelting location. So, we're gonna design it with the intention of maybe we will orient this vertically. So the reason I'm not packing these as tightly as I have when I've previously done this is for planning ahead purposes. The reasoning being that eventually we're going to hit electric furnaces, which are awesome because they don't require fuel-based things. But you don't get them for a while. The thing is, instead of being a 2x2 size like the stone and steel furnaces, they are a 3x3. Which makes for problems if you're not set up for that in advance. And you're wanting to just replace existing furnaces. So I make them with an extra grid space on the outside, and just fill that space with one extra track. So that basically I can then stack electric furnaces just in 3x3 grids, and when I have them, and basically I just pull up the outside, this row of belt, this row of the inserters, the furnaces, and any power poles that are in the way, and I can just plop them down and then put the inserters back down, and they'll just feed directly onto this outside track. And it saves a lot of time and effort and kind of pain. For the moment, we'll break the track right there so it's not flowing down here, but this space is so that we can expand this potential at some point. And let's make some more furnaces. Alright. We'll probably end up replacing all these power poles at some point as well, once we get steel ones, because, well, they just have different coverage than these wooden ones. I'll explain it when we get there. We'll do that. There we go. Now all that's powered. Oh, let's make one more. Alright. And then we're going to make, how do we want to orient this one? So we will orient this horizontally. Oh, nice. Okay, so our power poles are research now, so we'll be able to do that. So let's do engine next. Actually, we won't be able to take advantage of that for a little while, so we're going to do gun turret damage so that our sentry guns are a little more, well, they're a little stronger against the biters. Might seem weird that I'm actually setting up the furnaces before really a lot of the belts that are feeding to them, but it's actually to know where where I'm gonna want the belts to go. If I do it belt first, then I'll end up deciding differently and I'll have to pull up a bunch of stuff. But, alright, there's that. Oh, see, I messed up slightly. Forgot to account for the eventual steel furnaces. Guess we're mining this rock. Well, we're not actually crafting anything. I think I'll go for another few turrets. Even though they take a while, I'm not actually crafting anything else, so might as well. There we go. We are probably not going to have enough track, but oh well. These will be temporary power poles. Even with all those inserters I made one too few. There we go. We got some chests. That'll be our steel collection. Have these right there. Oh, yeah. There we go. I'm still getting used to these hotkeys. Okay. Put this one up here. Though won't have ammo yet. Alright. Cool. Alright, so we're gonna need a splitter. But let's set up our actual iron ore belts now. Oops, and that's done. Alright, we're gonna research engine now and start on our research path to trains. Done another splitter. There's that. And there's that. Okay. Here we go. Now we've got, oh, missed one drill. Needs one piece of track. There we go. All of our iron drills are going. All of our coal drills are going. So this will feed iron plate. And it's going to go a grand total of nowhere right now. And we're out of track. Cool. So we need to go get more track. Walking through dense trees is a pain. Oh, there's our timer. So we will stop the timer alarm going off. And you know what? We'll finish this episode right after we finish setting up this steel production, which we're pretty close to. So we're gonna run on down here and collect a little more of those, but mostly go over here and man, these hiccups and burps and stuff are annoying. I seem to get them every time I record. It's weird. But mostly we went down there to get track, pre-built track. Alright. So, look at that. Our iron production's already backed up. There we go. There's that. Honestly, should probably take this splitter, move it down there. Move that belt there. And come to think of it, the splitter's kind of pointless. Just need the coal. There we go. So coal should be feeding in here as well. And it will feed both the furnaces and be used to smelt into steel, because steel recipe is, what, it's just 5 iron plate? Really? For some reason I always thought it was coal as well. Wow, that's really good to know, unless they just changed that or something. But nope. Alright, cool. That's one less thing I have to worry about later. Oh shit. Oh, minor oversight. There we go. Alright. Steel. It's the best. Alright, we've got that going. We got steel collecting. Gonna end the episode now. We'll just save and end the episode.